Typhoon Day Tea. So here we go. Let's do it. Typhoon Day Tea. Because it's a typhoon day and my children are at home and so is my wife. And so I'm running away from my responsibilities. I have to go and do a live stream in the middle of a typhoon out on the back porch because it's a typhoon. I have to do it. I'm sorry, I can't take care of the kids. Look what I got today. So we'll be talking about this, what I got today. We're triple live in it. We got YouTube and Instagram and Facebook doing a triple live stream. And I got this today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this. You can see right here. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's so beautiful. We'll open up this in a second. But first, I got this. This is the wild hybrid. So this is for the store that is going to be opening up hopefully on December the 1st, I think, right? I think it's going to be December the 1st, the store. But I got it and I said to my buddy, we'll talk about the story of what this is and why I've got it. I said to my buddy, hey, what else you got? What else you got for me? And so he sent me these 3 samples. And so that's what we're going to do right now as we totally avoid our responsibilities of taking care of children at the moment. And we drink some of this really interesting and spectacular tea. Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun. I mean, fun. Anyways, for me, it's fun. And probably for some of the people listening out there, it might be fun for them as well. But what are we looking at? We're looking at, well, there's 4. I'm only going to drink 3 right now. But there's 4 teas that are made with a really special cultivar. And this is the cultivar, the wild hybrid, the Alishan wild hybrid cultivar. I think I might be buying more of this. I might be buying more. Anyways, we'll get into the name of it and where it's from and all that sort of stuff in a minute. And we'll talk about it. But this is these. So, why don't we get into it right now? I'm going to add the hot water. We're going to open up this. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what exactly is going on with this tea, with this cultivar, and whether or not I'm going to be buying more of this tea. And I might be buying more of this tea. It really depends on a lot of things, because this, as you can see right here, you can see how beautiful this packaging is. This was done by my buddy up on Alishan, and you can see here this is the Mountain Stream teas, and I mean, there's different ways of doing this. There are like taking the teas and never putting anybody else's name on it. If it was me who had gone up and made this tea, then I would do that, but I'm not that. It's not my style. So actually with this tea, the name of the farm is actually in it as well. But you can see here, they've done all this up for me. You see this beautiful piece of string. I have only 30 of these. There is only 30 of these. That's it. When you open it up, check it out. You open it up, and then, boom. And this is called Grandma's tea. Now, why is this called Grandma's tea? The reason this is called Grandma's tea is because the grandfather of this guy, but they've always been on Alishan, not always been on Alishan. They've been on Alishan for a while. Now you can see it's raining so hard. I literally just put it out here like a second ago, but check it out. See this? This is how much water was about for 5 minutes of like I was washing out my cup. And the spoon as well. So I was washing out the cup and spoon in the rain, in the typhoon rain, right? Like I said, this is me being away from my responsibilities. But that's okay. We'll survive, and we'll get through it. And my children will be having a little bit more unannounced screen time today. But let's keep going with the story. So my friend who's doing this tea, anyways, it's a family who's doing it. He's the youngest, and he's sort of in charge of the marketing and all these different types of things. Anyways, his grandfather's grandmother used to ask him as a kid to go up into the mountains, to go up into the forests and pick the wild tea bushes, pick the wild tea plants that were up in Alishan from the big trees, and come down and make tea out of those tea trees. Now, what he did, this was these tea trees are between 60 and 80 years old, so that long ago, is he went up there and he was kind of sick of going up into the mountains to go pick this stuff. So he went and took the seeds and planted a bunch of these tea trees around he made a garden of these tea trees a while ago. And then those tea trees, they forgot about it until about 10 years ago, or not forgot about it. They knew it was there, but they were like, whatever, that's too much trouble. Then 10 years ago, they brought them back into production, and they've been making teas with them for the last 10 years. Now, what this tea is, this is grandma's tea, as you can see right here. This is both the Chinese and the English. And this is all done by hand, right? This is all calligraphy, all done by hand. But what this is it's absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. But this tea was the tea that reminded him of his grandmother. So the grandfather would make this tea, and this is the tea that reminded him of his grandfather. And it's made into a ball, as you can see here, right? It's made into a ball. And there was different ways that I could sort of show this tea. There was different ways that I could present this tea or market this tea or different things like that. But I thought keeping the name Grandma's Tea, right? Keeping the name Grandma's Tea was the way to do it. But this is the tea ball. Now, I'm not going to open this up right now. I've already opened one up. That tea has gone out to the subscription service. So you actually have a serving of that tea in your box if you got the subscription service for November. But this tea, I might offer up maybe 10 of these to be sent out, like for the regular site. But this is going to be sort of an in-store only type of thing for the new store that we're opening up. And if you want to know why we're opening up a new store, then read the blog post about it. Or I guess I saw specifically about that, but there's a blog post about what we're doing because we still can't send tea to the United States. But you can see here, this is the tea. It's so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. And to be able to have a bunch of these on a shelf in a store that people can come and try, I'm super excited about it. Truly, it's wonderful. This is really, really, really beautiful. I mean, I wish you could sort of see, right? But that's all done with calligraphy, with a beautiful, soft piece of red paper. I mean, it's amazing. It truly is. Anyways, I got those in today, and I was like, send me what else you got from this cultivar. What else did you do with this cultivar? And you can see right here, there's one here. We'll be able to see the leaves really well to sort of show you what the cultivar is. And I didn't really talk about the cultivar. I talked about why it was Grandma's Tea, but I've talked about the cultivar in the past. Anyways, it's the Alishan Camellia formosensis. And the Alishan Camellia formosensis is, it's got Chin blood in it. Best way to describe it. It's got the DNA of Chin, the Chinese cultivars in it as well. It's not only the Camellia formosensis, right? So Camellia formosensis, that is just the Camellia formosensis, would be the Luye, Taidong, the southeastern wild cultivar. Then you've got the Liogui, which is probably out of the three, probably my favorite, the best tasting, most unique, much more closer to the sort of the Chinese style of the big trees. And then you've got this one, which is mixed in with the Chin oolong, which means you get the leaf litter taste, but you also get like normal oolong sort of flavor coming out of it. And it's well, anyways, let's try this one. Holy crap, that's pretty good. Now, the smell of this is like the southeastern wild cultivar. the wild cultivar that I have on the site right now, which is, some people love it. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's just kind of weird. It's definitely something you should try if you haven't, but it's just kind of weird. This one is like that one, but like oolongness in it as well. It's fascinating. This is actually pretty good. Again, these are all, as you can see here, this is what we got. We got the tea ball. These are all other teas made with the same cultivar, which is the what do I call it? The Alishan Wild Hybrid, because it is. It's a hybrid of Chin Oolong and Camellia formosensis, grown sort of semi-wild, basically wild, in the Alishan area. So it's got the benefit of the terroir, right? It's got the benefit of just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful terroir. Let's go to the, no, we can go to this one. I think this one is also made into a tea ball. And this one, if I was going to, so recently, and hilariously, I don't know why, but somebody brought out, it was somebody in Germany. And they were in Germany and they're drinking tea with somebody, another friend of mine. They have, it's called like teafrench.shop. Anyways, I hope they can be successful. They're trying really hard to sort of have a tea shop in Europe. And they were this other sort of, this other, like a consumer, not a tea shop, brought in one of these old Camellia formosensis dark tea, like the black tea cakes. What do we call it? We called it heicha, right? So the black tea. Anyways, I'm mixing up the languages. Anyways, the point is, it was one of those orange tea cakes from back in the day. And then people started drinking it. A bunch of people started drinking it all over. I thought it was quite funny. But this could be, theoretically, this could be a replacement to that. But let's see how it goes. The problem is the reason that heicha worked is because it was it was closer to the Chinese style tea. This is closer to the Taiwanese style tea, or right in the middle between the two. And it just doesn't work as much. This is not piled. This is just done as a black tea and then pressed into a ball. And it's still good, but it doesn't have that heicha goodness. Hope you're amazing. Well, I'm running away from my responsibilities. Today is technically a typhoon day. My children, when I first started the live stream, it was just pouring rain. My children are downstairs bothering my wife, and I'm like, oh, I got to do a live stream. We're stuck in the house today. Typhoon day, everything shut down, schools and everything. Although the poor delivery guys, they still have to go out. I got these today. So the delivery guys are still going around. So this, we'll add a little bit more hot water to it. We'll see what happens, but unfortunately, I don't think I'm doing that, which is too bad. And I keep telling my buddy, just pile it for like 3 days, get the temperature up to about 75 degrees and like rot it, and then press it into balls and see what happens. Ooh, experiment like that. And he just looks at me like, I believe are his exact facial features when he does that. And so I don't know whether he'll do it, but I think he should. I didn't know. Please stay safe. It's almost my birthday. Yes. Well, it's yes. Well, I hope it's good. I hope you have a good one. And here it's not. Technically, I guess technically it is a typhoon day, but it's just a rainy day. Just a rainy day. There's a dog barking, sounds kind of like a duck. On days like today, sometimes there's random ducks. So here we go. Here's the white tea. Let's see how it goes. It's a beautiful white tea. And it really is in that weird mix of Chin Oolong and Camellia formosensis. It's really, really unique. Now, I don't know how much these cost yet. I haven't asked. and they're so unique. I just don't know if I want to. Like, if the price is right, it might be worth it. But the problem is that the amount of people that would be like willing to spend an extra little bit of money for like, ooh, that's so interesting. The DNA on that. What cultivar is it? The amount of people that actually would want to do that is so few and far between. I don't know whether there's a market for it. That's one of the things where it's going to be really, really, really interesting for me. Remember, I bought all these. I've got what, 30 of them. I got 30 of these because I'm opening up a shop. Now we have like a final interview next week, but after that, we're probably going to pass. We're probably, knock on wood, of course, we're probably going to be able to get this shop. And so I bought a bunch of these because I want to have this perfect for the shop. It doesn't work so well on the internet. I mean, it does work on the internet. It's beautiful packaging and all that. But to actually be able to go in a shop and sort of open it up and be like, whoa, that's cool. That's sort of what I'm looking for. And that's what I'm most looking forward to doing. That's why I got all of these in. But it's going to be really, really interesting because when I'm describing these teas, the very, very few people that are out there sort of listening to that, they're going to be able to understand what I'm talking about. And there might be some people that are really interested. But in the entire world of, 7 billion people or whatever it is, the amount of people that are actually or would be interested in this, if it hit 3 digits, I would be surprised. if it were like, I really want to try that tea, I'm willing to pay a premium to see the difference between Camellia formosensis and that other, and that's the amount of people that actually do that are the people that are my customers. And they're amazing people, like people who would be watching this. You're absolutely rare and an amazing person. What is it? What's in the box? So this is it's going to be called Grandma's Tea. You can see the name there, but this is the wild hybrid tea balls, and I had these before. I had them, I guess, 2 years ago. Last year, the production wasn't all that. It didn't work out all that well. It wasn't all that good, but this year, it is really good. But what's the point? When I have this shop and I'm talking to people are just going to wander in. They're going to know nothing about tea, like literally nothing about tea. And they're going to wander in and they're going to see the prices of things like this that are up on the wall. And they'll be like, what the hell? And they'll be like, hey, listen, if you want, this tea over here is like, a quarter of the price of those teas over there. Well, just sit down and drink some tea. Or I don't even know how it's going to work because I haven't been around people that would have stumbled into a situation where they would be drinking teas of this caliber. It's been many, many, many years. And I used to do that when I ran an outdoor company. So when I ran an outdoor company, I would do, oftentimes if people asked for it in the right way, it was sort of like a soup Nazi style of thing. People asked for it in the right way. At the end of the day, I'd do like a tea. I'd give them a bunch of teas to try and things like that. And so I would have beginners or things like that. But that was like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I haven't done that for that long. Hey man, how's it going? And so I'm looking forward to, I'm looking forward to going back to that situation where there is, what's the best way to describe it? Where the stakes are not so high. Like today in Discord, I did a big long rant. Oh, it wasn't a rant, but somebody asked a question about red oolongs. And I had to do like, red oolongs is this. This is my definition of red oolongs. In general, this is what you're looking for. The answer to your question is this. And I do this big long thing because I know that the people who are on the Discord are, the smartest people in the world. Number one. And number two, they're highly, highly educated on tea. And if I don't qualify it and give the right answer, then, it's the internet. Then I'm going to lose street cred, for lack of a better way of describing it. And so I'm going to be in this situation where I'm going to be serving tea to people who are like, where did tea come from? I haven't answered that question in many, 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 many years. It's been many years since I've answered that question. So it's going to be kind of fun to do that. Now, like I was saying, this particular tea ball, I wish it was more like Heicha. I wish the production had gone a little bit different, but that's not what I'm going to be going for. This white tea is pretty good, but it's not all that super, super special. This oolongy thing is pretty special, although I don't know whether I would call it the most pleasant tea ever. It's got the wild cultivar kick to it. Like it's got bitterness and astringency in spades. And so I don't know whether that's the one that I would really go for. It's like a better version of the wild cultivar tea that we have on the site already. So I probably will pass on these 3 teas. I probably will pass. But that's not saying they're not good. It just means that they're like, this tea here is like better than all 3 of them. So, I mean, this tea is beautiful. It's a really special tea. And it is in between these 2 teas. So it's a mid-oxidized, ball-pressed, greenish, 40% oxidized oolong, 50% oxidized oolong, type of thing. It's sort of like a sheng, like a young sheng, like a raw pu'er, although not technically a raw pu'er. And the white tea here, I bet you if this was pressed into a cake, I'd probably buy it. If this was pressed into a cake, I'd probably buy it. But I'll talk to my buddy about it and I'll see, hey, listen, the white tea, can you press it into a cake? So, will you break up the ball? Is it in a citrus? No, I will not break up the ball at all. It is just sort of like, what's the best way to describe it? It is, well, I'll take it out and I'll show you. But it's just like oolong balls, sort of looser than oolong balls. Before the last processing of the oolong balls, you start the rolling process, and then you would, instead of making sort of the tighter balls, you are making sort of this ball here. And so this is sort of looser tea leaves. Eventually I've got one opened up. I'm not going to leave the live stream and go get it, but there's one opened up. You can see it's sort of looser balls, but sort of pressed into the ball like this. And so it's not in a citrus by itself. And you would just sort of, peel off or pick off some of the tea here to make it. Late to the party. I don't know, man. It's nobody has asked that question. It's not in the citrus. Nobody has asked that question yet. So you're not late to any parties at all. Have no worries about that. But that's what's going to be. That's what this is going to be. And like I said, I might offer up maybe 10 site, but this is going to be an in-store thing. And hopefully the store is going to be opening soon. So I'm hoping to do sort of whiteboard videos, educational videos, have a classroom there. And my biggest challenge is I am aesthetically challenged. So my biggest challenge is that I am aesthetically challenged. And not aesthetically sort of here, just aesthetically in space. I'm not very good at finding beautiful things. I'm great at beautiful ideas. I can talk about beautiful ideas for hours and hours and hours, but beautiful physical spaces is not my thing. So I'm going to have to figure that out or get someone to help me figure that out. I've got some people in mind. And, but this will be a big part of it, right? So these will be for sale, these bad boys. And also some other, like the white tea cakes, the green tea cakes, the purple bud tea cakes, all the other tea cakes. So basically my idea is to have it look like a Chinese tea house with the cakes and the weird things up on the shelf, except all of it is Taiwanese. All of it's going to be Taiwanese. So it's going to be like a Chinese tea house aesthetic with the cakes and things in the background, but everything's going to be Taiwanese. Clean wood, natural tones, and diffuse lighting. Oh yeah. I'm going to avoid the black ice, or no. What is it? What makes it smoke? It's not black ice. The ice that makes the smoke ice, white ice. What the hell? Why can't I? Dry ice. Anyways, I'm gonna avoid the dry ice and the LED multicolored lighting. That's what I'm gonna try and avoid. Although who knows? Maybe I'll have like a fountain with a spinning ball. No, I probably won't have a fountain with a spinning ball, but I might have like a. I remember one of the most beautiful things I think even to this day I've ever seen was sometimes you can find they've got the equivalent of singing bowls, but kind of in the context of Asian, like Han Chinese, and you'd stick them in a fountain, and they would randomly float around with a slight current, and they randomly float around and then randomly bump into each other, and you get that. I mean, that's one of my favorite things in the whole world. That whole aesthetic. So who knows? Maybe I'll get one of those, but. I've worked in landscaping. Water elements are something to be avoided at all cost. But anyways, we'll see. We'll see. Disco Fever with Ruby 18. Well, yeah, that's it, right? Isn't there's a group that does that, right? Aren't they in Austin? There's the guy with the black fingernails. I see him on my feed every once in a while. But don't they have like full on like dance parties with tea and things like that? I think they do that. But they've got like a tea house where they have parties and things like that. I think I've seen pictures of them sort of doing. They have that aesthetic going, which good for them. Awesome. But yeah, you could pull it off with Ruby 18 for sure. The Red Bull of the tea world. I used to make koi ponds. I get it. Yes, yeah. Well, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? I mean, I always admire people that can pull it off and make it look nice. It's always one of those things where I'm like, wow, look at that. Like, kids, stay away from it. Don't mess it up. And yeah, I don't know if anybody has those types of children, but it's one of those things where you're like, has your child ever fallen in a koi pond? Like, check how many times. So I've been to my fair share of koi ponds and seen how they work. But anyways, you're saying that they actually have $10,000 fish? That's so crazy. I mean, I guess it's with snakes. There's everything like that. It happens, I'm sure. But like, why would you have a fish worth that much money outside that's a whole other world, right? It's a whole other world. And sometimes you see it with the same thing happens with the snakes and things like that. And I don't get it. I don't. I mean, I sort of get it, but not really. Seems like there's better ways to do it. Anyways, to recap, I think I might have some lunch and go play catch with my boys, because you can see the Typhoon has given us a little bit of space right now. But here you can see that I got 30 of these. I might put about 10 of these up for sale on the site, but most of them are going to be sort of in store. There's a sample that went out with the this month subscription box, so you can actually taste that tea. It's a very unique and wonderful tea. These 3 teas are also teas that are made with the same cultivar. Again, these about 80-year-old tea plants that were planted from seed from Camellia formosensis tea plants that were up in the mountains that were brought down. Remember, camellia plants, they are mixed with everything around them. And so there's chin varietal brought in by the bees, pollen that is definitely in this, that the DNA is a mix between the two. And this was sort of a greenish oolong, which is okay, nothing too like it's interesting, but it's a little bit strong. This was a black tea pressed into a ball that unfortunately is not as good as the Hei Cha. It's still good, nothing wrong with it, no complaints, but it's not as good as sort of the Hei Cha that we've had in the past. I think this, which is sort of a mid-oxidized version of this tea ball, is a better version of it. And then you got the white tea, which is actually pretty nice. I might, we'll see. I might do something with it. I might actually want to, I mean, I can't press things into a ball myself, into cakes myself, but who knows? Maybe that'll be something that happens in the future. But it is a really nice white tea. Anyways, last call for questions. I came out here because it was pouring rain and I wanted to avoid my responsibilities with my children. But now that the rain is sort of dissipated a bit, I can probably go outside and play catch with them and perhaps let out some of the air of my wife's ire. Let out some of the air in my wife's ire balloon. Let some of that out. Because she should be probably pretty pissed by now. I got to do a live stream. How many people are watching? Like 2. Anyways, time to go. So wherever you are in the world, I certainly hope you have an amazing morning, night, evening. Sleep well. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your day. Sleep well. Have a great day tomorrow. Thank you for watching. And I'm going to go do some parenting before the typhoon comes back. Anyways, see you next live stream. Remember, there's 3